Welcome back, everyone, to AI Explained. We're doing a deep dive today.
Into.
Into a fascinating story, one that I think kind of connects data centers with the future of AI.
Okay.
We've got some recent news articles about a large investment in U.S. data centers, and it sparked a conversation about government support in the tech world.
Uh-huh.
So how are these political decisions and private investments going to shape AI, and what does it all mean for you?
Well, it's a really complex and rapidly evolving landscape. The stakes are very high
Yeah.
because these decisions are going to have a ripple effect
Right.
on everything from technological advancement to economic growth.
Right. Okay, so let's start with the big news. Hussein Sajwani, an Emirati billionaire, is pledging $20 billion to
Wow.
build data centers in the U.S.,
Okay.
primarily to support AI and cloud technologies.
Yeah.
This first phase is targeting states like Arizona, Illinois, Indiana,
Okay.
Louisiana, Michigan, Ohio, Oklahoma, and Texas.
Right.
I mean, that's a pretty serious vote of confidence in the future of AI, wouldn't you say?
Ugh. Absolutely. This investment is interesting because it aligns with the growing trend of edge computing,
Mm-hmm.
which means bringing AI processing closer to where the data is generated. This has huge implications for speed and security,
Okay.
potentially leading to faster innovation in areas like personalized healthcare or self-driving cars. It could significantly impact your life in the very near future.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's not just about building more data centers. It's about strategically placing them to maximize efficiency
Exactly.
and open up all these new possibilities.
Ah.
But, I can't help but think back to the Foxconn deal in Wisconsin.
Okay.
They initially promised a $10 billion investment that kind of ultimately fell short.
Right.
Do you think there's a risk of something similar happening here?
You raise a valid point. Large-scale projects like this always come with a certain level of risk.
Yeah.
However, the scale of Sajwani's investment and the strategic focus on edge computing suggests a strong commitment to meeting the growing demand for AI infrastructure.
Right.
This isn't just about chasing hype. It's about anticipating a fundamental shift in how AI is developed and deployed.
That makes sense. And speaking of supporting the tech sector, we have to talk about the GPS Act. This was a major initiative from the Biden administration
Okay.
to boost U.S. semiconductor manufacturing by offering billions in grants and incentives.
Right.
And it seems to have been pretty successful,
Yeah.
attracting over 10 times the grant amount in private investment from major chip makers.
Wow.
But this is where things get a little complicated, right?
Yes. There are definitely differing perspectives on the role of government in the tech sector.
Okay.
While the GPS Act has been praised for its success in attracting private investment
Uh-huh.
and boosting domestic manufacturing, there are also critics who argue that government subsidies can distort the market
Okay.
and create an unfair advantage for certain companies. Former President Trump, for example, has been critical of the act
Okay.
and has called for tariffs on imported semiconductors. Some Republicans have even threatened to repeal it.
So it's a bit of a tug of war between those who believe in a more hands-off approach and those who see a need for government intervention
Yeah.
to maintain U.S. competitiveness, especially in a strategically important industry like semiconductor manufacturing.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's important to remember that semiconductors are essentially the brains of all our electronic devices, including the ones we use every day. They're crucial for AI development because they provide the processing power needed for complex computations. The global competition for tech dominance is fierce,
Yeah.
and ensuring a robust domestic supply of semiconductors is seen by many as crucial for national security and economic prosperity.
Yeah, that's a really clear explanation.
Thanks.
Thanks for breaking that down.
Yeah.
It sounds like finding the right balance between fostering innovation
Mm-hmm.
and protecting domestic interests is going to be key here.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to AI and data centers. We're seeing this surge in demand for data centers fueled by the rapid advancements in AI. Can you explain why AI development requires so much computing power and storage capacity?
Sure, AI algorithms need vast amounts of data to learn and improve.
Right.
Think of it like training for a marathon. The more miles you run, the stronger and more efficient you become.
Right.
Data centers provide the massive computing power and storage needed to handle these huge data sets
Okay.
and train sophisticated AI models. It's a bit like building a gym specifically designed for AI to work out and get stronger.
Okay, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So it's not just about storing data. It's about having the horsepower to process it and turn it into something meaningful.
Exactly.
And companies like Microsoft are recognizing this right.
Yes.
They're investing heavily in building out their data center capacity to support their AI ambitions.
Microsoft has publicly stated that large-scale infrastructure investments are key to their AI strategy.
Mm-hmm.
They're planning to spend billions of dollars on AI data centers because they anticipate a massive increase in demand for AI-powered services and applications.
And this is where I find things get really interesting. We have these tech giants like Microsoft investing heavily in data centers.
Right.
But then we also have Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI,
Okay.
who has expressed concerns about the effectiveness of government initiatives, like the HHIPS Act.
Mm-hmm.
He even agrees with some of President Trump's points about the challenges of building essential infrastructure in the U.S. What do you make of his perspective?
It's a valuable perspective because he's coming from a company at the forefront of AI innovation.
Right.
He's not just talking about theoretical challenges, he's dealing with the very real hurdles of building the physical infrastructure needed to support cutting-edge AI development.
And he's not just complaining.
No.
He's actually calling for a follow-on initiative that goes beyond the HHIPS Act, something that addresses the bureaucratic roadblocks that are slowing down progress. It seems like he's advocating for a more streamlined and efficient approach to supporting tech infrastructure development.
I see. His argument highlights the need for a collaborative approach between the government and the private sector.
Yeah.
A truly thriving AI ecosystem needs both. Government support to incentivize innovation and private sector ingenuity to drive development and deployment.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where government policies support responsible AI development without stifling creativity and the entrepreneurial spirit that drives progress in the tech world.
Exactly. Yeah, it really is a delicate balance. And this brings us back to you, the listener.
Right.
We've been talking about investments, government policies, and tech giants. It's easy to get lost in the big picture.
Yeah, it can feel a little overwhelming, to be honest. Yeah. But I think it's important to remember that these developments in AI and data centers aren't just abstract concepts. They're going to have a very real impact on our everyday lives.
Exactly. AI is becoming more and more integrated into everything we do, whether we realize it or not. Think about the personalized recommendations you get on streaming services or the advanced medical diagnostics that are becoming increasingly common. These are all powered by AI.
And these data centers we've been discussing are the engines driving all of that. They provide the computational muscle needed to train and run these increasingly sophisticated AI algorithms.
Precisely. As AI continues to advance, the demand for data center capacity will only grow. And that's why these investments we've been talking about are so significant. They're not just about building more buildings filled with servers. They're about laying the foundation for a future where AI plays an even greater role in our lives.
And it's not just about the quantity of data centers, right? It's also about where they're located, who has access to them, and how they're powered.
Absolutely. These are all crucial considerations. For example, if data centers are concentrated in just a few specific regions, that could create disparities in terms of access to AI-powered services and opportunities. We need to ensure that the benefits of AI are distributed equitably regardless of geographical location.
That's a great point. And it makes me think about the environmental impact of all of this. We're talking about massive amounts of energy being consumed to run these facilities. How can we ensure that the growth of AI infrastructure is sustainable?
That's a critical question. The sustainability of AI infrastructure needs to be a top priority. We need to explore innovative solutions for powering data centers with renewable energy sources and reducing their overall carbon footprint. Fortunately, many companies are already taking steps in this direction, investing in solar and wind power to make their data centers more environmentally friendly.
That's encouraging to hear. It sounds like there's a growing awareness of the need to balance technological advancement with environmental responsibility.
Yes, and this is where government policies and regulations can play a crucial role. Governments can incentivize the development and adoption of clean energy technologies for data centers. They can also establish guidelines for responsible AI development and deployment, ensuring that these technologies are used in ways that benefit society as a whole.
So it's a multifaceted challenge, but it sounds like there's a lot of potential for positive change.
Absolutely. We need tech innovators, policymakers, researchers, and everyday citizens to engage in a meaningful dialogue about the future of AI and how we want it to shape our world. It's not about fearing AI or trying to stop its progress. It's about shaping its trajectory in a way that aligns with our values and aspirations.
I think that's a really important point. We need to be proactive in shaping the future of AI.
Yeah.
It's not something that's just going to happen to us. It's something that we can actively influence.
Exactly. We need to be asking ourselves, what kind of future do we want to build with AI, and what role do we want it to play in our lives? These are questions that don't have easy answers, but they're questions we need to grapple with collectively if we want to harness the power of AI for the betterment of humanity.
And that brings us back to this whole idea of government support and private investment.
Mm.
How do we strike the right balance to ensure that AI develops in a way that benefits everyone?
It's a complex equation. We need to foster an environment where innovation can flourish, but we also need to ensure that there are safeguards in place to protect against potential risks. It's like walking a tightrope. We need to find that sweet spot where government policies support responsible AI development without stifling creativity and the entrepreneurial spirit that drives progress.
So it sounds like we're in for a pretty interesting ride as AI continues to evolve.
It certainly promises to be an exciting journey, and one that will undoubtedly reshape the technological, economic, and social landscape in profound ways.
And who knows, maybe some of our listeners would be the ones driving those changes.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something that we're all actively shaping through our choices, our actions, and our engagement with these technologies.
I think that's a great point to end on for now. We've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the intersection of data centers, AI development, and government policies.
And we've delved into the potential impacts of these trends on society as a whole.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
And we've talked a lot about these big players, the governments, the tech giants, the investors shaping the AI landscape from the top down.
Right, the ones making the headlines and the big decisions.
But what about us, the everyday users? What role do we play in all of this? It's easy to feel like we're just along for the ride.
That's a great point, and one that's often overlooked. We're not just passive consumers of AI. We're active participants in its development and deployment.
Exactly. Every time we use a search engine or we interact with a virtual assistant or even just browse social media, we're generating data that feeds these AI systems.
And that data is incredibly valuable. It's used to train and refine algorithms, which ultimately shapes the way AI behaves and the decisions it makes.
So our choices matter. The way we interact with technology, the information we share, the questions we ask, it all contributes to the evolution of AI.
It's like a feedback loop. Our actions influence AI, and AI in turn shapes our experiences.
This means we have a responsibility to be informed and discerning users of AI.
We need to understand how these technologies work, what their limitations are, and how they can be used ethically and responsibly.
And it's not about becoming tech experts overnight. It's about developing a basic level of AI literacy.
Right.
So we can make informed choices and advocate for our values.
For example, we can demand transparency from companies about how they're using our data and developing their algorithms.
Right.
We can support organizations that are working to ensure AI is used for good and promotes fairness.
Absolutely.
We can also stay informed about potential biases that can sometimes creep into AI systems and advocate for more equitable design and development.
Yes, very important.
The bottom line is this. We're not just along for the ride when it comes to AI. We have a say in how it shapes our future.
That's an empowering thought, isn't it? It means we all have agency in this technological revolution.
Absolutely. And it all starts with awareness, with understanding the issues at stake and engaging in thoughtful conversations like the one we've had today.
Well said. I always enjoy these deep dives with you.
Me too. And a huge thank you to all of you for listening to AI Explained. We hope you found this deep dive into data centers and the future of AI informative and thought-provoking. If you did, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more explorations of the fascinating world of artificial intelligence. We've got some incredible episodes coming up covering everything from the latest breakthroughs in machine learning to the ethical considerations of AI.
So stay tuned, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Until then, keep exploring the ever-evolving world of AI.